a ship, a ship does not sink because of the water around. A ship will sink because of the water that gets in. You understand? So for me, I'm not going to allow the water that's outside to get in my ship and sink it.
Right.
I'm the only one that can do that.
Right.
You understand? And from the moment you realize that you're the only one that can allow this water, because that water is going to be around the ship regardless. It's a ship. You understand? That's what we are. We're ships on this river, and we're surrounded by water. Now, are you going to allow that water get in your ship?
Prosperity. Rob Blackstorm. What's going on, y'all? I am walking in these streets, headed to the gym. What's up, everybody? Hope you're enjoying your Sunday. What I wanted to talk about is, I wanted to talk about the power of the sun and the power of Sundays. And give you a quick story, right? Quick story before I go in. Right now, I'm walking, headed to the gym. I did not want to go to the gym. My emotions, my feelings, my desires, everything in me did not want to walk to this gym right now, right? But my soul, what's best for my soul, is what I chose to do. So in order to fulfill my soul desires, or my soul's desire, I had to get my ass up, ignore the feelings that I had, and take my ass to the gym. Now, when people talk about selling the soul, right? What does that mean, to sell your soul? Can you hand somebody your soul? Can you give somebody your soul? No, you can't. You can't take your soul out of your body and hand it to somebody like a bag of chips or a packet of chicken, right? But what you can do is you can go against what's best for you. What you can do is go against what's best for humanity and what will contribute to making things not only for yourself, but for your family and for people around you better, because we all are interconnected via us simply breathing air or breathing in spirit, right? That etymology of the word spirit means air. So your soul's calling, or your soul, is literally the sun in you. It is literally the light that exists inside of you. It is what you focus on. It is what burns inside you. It is what you would call your soul desire. Because you are a solar being. Nas has in one of his songs, why debate on the phone? I'm solar cellular, right? Because in your cells you have a nucleus, right? In your cells there's a nucleus, or in your DNA, right? Your DNA, the cells in your DNA, there are atoms. And the atoms have protons, neutrons, and electrons. Now, when a star, which is what the sun is, right? We're talking about Sunday now, and the power of a Sunday. When a star collapses, when a star supernovas, and then it collapses, it's turned into what they call a neutron star. And basically, the neutron star is the nucleus of that particular star. And it's literally the sun collapsing back unto itself, right? It's called a neutron star. The neutron star pretty much pulls everything that is surrounding that particular star once it supernovas and turns into a neutron star. So it pulls everything that is on the outside into itself. Now, what does that mean, right? How does that practical for me in my day-to-day, Rob? Well, your soul literally pulls in whatever your source material is. Whatever the nucleus or the neutron of you is. That is your soul. That is your inner sun. And your inner sun comes from your bloodline. Your parents, your grandparents, your great-grandparents, right? So you have a soul desire that was imprinted in you when you were born. This is the spark when the sperm and the egg hit. And there's literally, scientifically speaking, a spark that happens when the sperm and the egg hit that science does not know what that is. It produces the compound of zinc, but they don't know what the actual spark is composed of or where it comes from. So that spark is literally you returning from an ancestor into this animal mammalian avatar. And you have a mission, your soul's mission. When you sell your soul, you are literally going against your soul's mission. You are literally going against what you know is quote unquote right. What you know is what you are here to do. What you know is going to make life better. Or what you know is going to make life better for you. Like I said, you and just the world in general. Because we are all here to move the world forward. I don't care if you're the greatest architect. I don't care if you're the greatest gardener. I don't care if you're the greatest sanitation worker. I don't care if you're the greatest mathematician. You have Michael Jordan level talent in something. And that is your soul's mission. So when you're dealing with Sunday, Sunday is a day of reinforcing, and also when there are solar flares present. But those are days where you reinforce whatever your heart's desire is. And your heart's desire is always going to be about raising your energy, raising your frequency, and raising your vibration. And the way you do those things, raise your energy, raise your frequency and vibration, it's not just lighting candles. It's not just taking spirit baths. It's not just wearing crystals. Not just making sigils or whatever spiritual thing that you do, whatever occult or esoteric thing that you do. It's about making changes and creating new habits and new structures. It's literally the day right after Saturday, with Saturn, Saturday is ruled by the planet Saturn. If you look at Saturn, you see it has a ring or a circle, and that circle is synonymous with your habits, your day-to-day habits, your day-to-day rituals, your day-to-day rites, so to speak. If you look at the pharmacy, Rite Aid, right? What do? They prescribe you prescriptions. When you get prescribed a prescription, they say you take it 3 to 5 days, or take it for 2 weeks, or take it for a month. This is something you do on a day-to-day basis. So a rite is a ritual. A ritual is a habit. A habit is a cycle. A cycle is a circle. A circle is a ring. So Sunday is the day after Saturday. So Saturday is really about organizing yourself and what new habits you want to implement. And the reason the first day of the week is really Sunday, because Sunday is the day that you tested out. You had an intention that you were going to, stop eating fish, right? Let me not say stop eating fish, that's silly, right? Let's say you want to stop eating beef, right? Red meat. You like burgers. You want to stop eating red meat. So Sunday would be the day, right, when you get the desire for red meat. and you feel it, and you could taste it. You could taste that Whopper. You could taste that McDonald's, right? That shit is bubbling up on your tongue, right? Stirring your gut. But your soul, because you are solar, right? You are the soul. You are your soul. You are the son of man, right? So your soul is like, nah, I'm not going to eat meat. So Sunday would be the day that you set it off. You say, nah, it's Sunday. I'm not going to eat meat today. This is when I'm going to start my ritual, right, of not eating meat. And even though you get the desire, even though you have the feeling, even though it's something you want to do, you don't do it. Because you are maximizing the power of your soul. Now, what it is your soul, because Sunday we're dealing with the sun, we're dealing with the solar part of ourselves. When you are maximizing the soul, what you're doing is you're essentially saying, my highest dreams and desires, I'm going to use my spirit, right? Because the soul, again, is your DNA. It's who you are. It lives in your bloodstream. It lives in the atoms in your body. It is who you are. It is what you are. And your soul is whatever your purpose is here in life that you discover it to be. And there are certain things that you're going to have to do besides lighting candles and praying and affirming and things like that to get yourself to where you need to be. There's certain habits you have to install. There's certain training you have to undergo. You can't say, oh, I want to be a doctor or I want to be a power lifter and sit in bed all day and pray. It doesn't work that way. There's training you have to do. There's skills you have to acquire. It's the same thing. You want to become healthier. There's more than just saying it and doing a ritual. There's things you have to eat. There's things you have to sacrifice. So Sunday would be the day to do that so you can fulfill your soul's desire, because this is what you said you want to do. And the way you do it, again, is you ignore the emotion. It's similar to when you were dating someone, right? And you're dating this person and y'all break up, right? And the feeling is still there where you want to call them, you want to reach out, you want to hang out with them, right? But say that you broke up because the person was toxic. Now, your feelings, your emotions still want to desire, still want to be with that person, and still want to call that person. But you know your soul's desire, and this is where you get into you versus the animal in you, right? But you know your soul's desire is way more important than you. It's way more important than you being with that person, your peace of mind, right? Your well-being, right? Your comfort, right? Your joy. It's way more important than being with that person. It's way more important than being around that person. Might even be way more important than sleeping with that person moving forward, right? So you follow your soul's calling versus your internal animal feeling, versus your instinct, versus what your body is telling you to do. This is really you using the higher self. This is you using the light that you have within. Scientific studies state that all of us have a glow. We all illuminate. And the biggest illumination, or the most sunlight, or the most light radiates from our face. The most light radiates from our face. And science, they don't know why, but I know why. It's because your hippocampus, which produces zinc, gold, and copper, is there, and your pineal gland, which produces melatonin and DMT, are there, right? And your brain is constantly putting out electricity, right? Neurons that fire together, wire together. So what happens is eventually you start on a Sunday, you say you're going to stop eating meat, right? You're planting the seed on a Sunday. You're using the power of the day. Your soul's desire is to stop eating meat. So you stop eating meat on a Sunday. And what you do, you go through the rest of the week. The 7 days of the week, which correspond to the 7 original planets, right? Which was the sun, the moon, Mars, Venus, Mercury, Jupiter and Saturn. That's what the days of the week correspond to. Also the 7 chakras. So each day you are tuning yourself up to ignore the desire of something that was once harmful to you, or something that you no longer want to indulge in, because you know it's to your betterment to ignore that desire and move forward. There is a technique I'm going to leave you with called Men-Ab. And in Men-Ab, what it is when these desires come up after you start this thing on a Saturday and you know these things are strong. You're trying to stop smoking cigarettes. You're trying to get off the weed for a little while. You're trying to stop eating meat. You want to eat better. You're trying to get away from that ex that's doing you no good, but you love him, you love him, you love him. These things are hard. What happens is when you think about these things, you're going to tuck in your stomach and lift your chest. So you literally pull your stomach in and lift your chest. Pull your stomach in, lift your chest. What it does is, after a couple of repetitions of this Men-Ab, it literally stops the desire from coming. It literally suspends the desire after a couple of repetitions. It's the same thing that happens when people stop smoking cigarettes. When you stop smoking cigarettes, doesn't mean the desire to smoke a cigarette doesn't continue to occur. Same thing drug addicts say. That's why they say it's a day-to-day process, or alcoholic. It's a day-to-day process because the desire doesn't stop coming. What you have to do is you have to maximize your internal strength, your internal spirit. This is where the spirit comes in, right? Because you are mastering now, you're changing from the spirit being the body to now the spirit being the light within, right? The spirit being the light within, which is where the neurons are firing together and wiring together. And this is the whole process of raising your kundalini, or raising your frequency above the animal within. This is the whole point of elevating the chakras, so that you could avoid being trapped up in instinct, trapped up in animal emotions, and you control thyself. This is why the ancients taught man, know thyself. Because once you have a knowledge of self, now you are not swayed emotionally when this thing happens, or that thing's happen, or this desire happens. You know that you have the ability to master yourself and master your emotions. The head of a human in the body of a lion. That's what the Sphinx represented. And the Sphinx was there before. The Sphinx was there before there was any pyramids. This is a scientific fact. So this is the power of Sunday. This is how you can use a Sunday to start new habits, to install new matrices or new wombs, which is basically new ideas. This is how you start new neurons firing together so that they wire together. You start on a Sunday, right? You map it out on a Saturday, and then you say, okay, I'm going to take that leap on a Sunday and test it out, right? And then you start walking through the week with this particular habit, but you're using the power of the solar you, right? This is where your solar plexus or your celiac plexus comes in handy, because the solar plexus, or that celiac plexus, is what basically controls where the energy in your body goes. Now, let's say that's Sunday, you indulge in that desire, you eat meat again. You're basically telling your energy center or your solar plexus that this is my soul's desire. So I'm going to send more energy. The neurons are going to fire together and wire together more. I'm going to send more energy to my body. I'm going to reinforce the memory that's stored in my hippocampus, which is going to secrete fluids from my secrete fluids from my pituitary gland and hormones that hardwire this particular habit to my body. Instead of me saying, okay, I'm going to start something new so I can start a new neural pathway, and new neurons is firing together and wiring together, and also this pituitary gland secreting new hormones for this new thing I'm going to indulge in. But the way I'm going to do that is I have to change the consciousness. This is Sunday. solar power. Your soul are desires. This is when you're going to say, okay, I'm going to do something different. Because you cannot, what's the saying? You can't change your consciousness with the same, you can't solve a problem with the same consciousness that created it. You can't solve a problem with the same consciousness that created it. So you need new light, right? You need new light. You need a new guiding light, a new sun within you. And this is how you generate that new sun. And this is how you use your Sundays. Peace, power, and prosperity. Let me know what you think in the comments. Like, share, subscribe. One love, y'all. I'm going to work out. Peace.
Have you made a lot of money out of your music?
Money? I mean, how much is a lot of money to you?
Yeah, that's a good question. Have you made, say, millions of dollars?
No.
Are you a rich man?
When you mean rich, what you mean?
Do you have a lot of possessions? A lot of money in the bank?
Position make you rich? I don't have that type of richness. My richness is life, forever.